Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I wanted to share a total of 2 dreams with you guys. The first dream that I do want to share, I had yesterday morning, which was March 21st. When I woke up from that dream, I was telling my husband like what I dreamt, because when I first woke up, he had came in the room and he was asking me, how did you sleep? Because that's something he always asks me. And so I started telling him the dream, and I got very emotional because I was still feeling the emotions behind, the dream that I had just, experienced. And I literally started crying as I was talking to him about it. The dream basically was in a school setting. It almost gave the vibe like it was a college campus. And I don't remember like how the dream started. I just knew that I was in this building that represented a school, and I had ended up catching wind that something was going down outside. So I hurried up and I rushed outside to see what was going on. As soon as I went outside, I could see students that were from the same school as me. They were outside, really just upset about what was happening. And I saw these girls, they looked like they may have been in their 20s. They were being brought in a single file line, and it was made known to me that these were immigrants that were trying to get access to our school. And I knew that this was a big deal, because when I started, trying to get information, it was like I went immediately, like one by one. I started getting their attention, like, do you have a visa? The first few people that I asked that to, they just kind of act like I wasn't talking to them. They just brushed me off. And I went to the next person. I said, do you have a visa? And this person said, yeah, but it's at my home. And I knew she was not being honest. And then the last girl that I asked, I said, do you have a visa? And she was like, no, I don't have a visa. And I remember I just became outraged, and I was just like, this is not supposed to happen. And I was like, this is not what we agreed upon. This was not the agreement. Y'all are supposed to have a visa. And so I noticed that there was a man who was kind of acting as the middleman to try to make it to where these women could get access to our school. And so I went directly to him, and I was saying to him, like, this is not right. You can't do this. I said, they're supposed to have a visa. And I said, they can't come to our school. And he stopped what he was doing, and he looked at me, and he just gave me this look like, who are you to be talking to me about this? And he said to me, he said, our school. And I said again, I said, you cannot allow this to happen. They cannot have access to our school. And he looked at me again with this look like, who are you? And he said again, our school. And at this point, I knew he said that because he was looking at my race. And I remember my response to him was, I said, I am black. I said, I am half white. I am Asian. I am Mexican. I said, yeah, I'm all of those things. And I'm telling you that you cannot allow them to have access to our school. And he just looked at me and just kind of looked away. And at this point, I knew what I had to do at this point was rush back into the school and warn as many people as I could, because they were about to vote on this. And so I remember there was a lady that was already outside, and she had kind of beat me to, me getting back into the school. And I saw her talking to this group of females, and she basically was telling them like, I need y'all right now. Like, I need y'all right now. And all the females like hurriedly got up from their chairs, and they followed her outside. And I remember I saw this room off in the distance, and I went inside this room, and on the table were like a whole bunch of walkie-talkies. They were black walkie-talkies. And what I noticed, what was different, was some of the walkie-talkies, the volume, the knob for the volume, some of them were just black, some of them were yellow, and some of them were red. And I knew that the color of the volume would determine how loud the volume would get. So I remember I grabbed as many of the ones that had the yellow and the red knobs. So I'm grabbing as many as I can. I hurry up and I go to the elevator. And when the elevator door opened, I got inside, and you know how when you get on the elevator, it'll show like if you need to go to the first floor, second floor, third floor, what have you. Well, what was odd about this elevator was I knew I was on the third floor, but instead of it just having the number 3, it had 3.5. I don't know why I saw that, but I pressed that button. So now I'm back on the floor that I typically was at when the dream started. So I'm seeing the familiar faces of the people that I had already seen prior to when I first was dreaming. But anyway, I'm starting to try to get everybody's attention because everybody's like doing their own thing. And I knew that I had to hurry up and get their attention as quick as possible. So I'm trying to tell people like, I need y'all to be quiet. I have something important to say. Now, by this time, I'm grabbing one of the walkie-talkies because for whatever reason, and I think I understand to a certain degree though, my voice was extremely low. Like me talking normally at full volume, it was like silent, like you couldn't hear my words, which is why I had to grab the walkie-talkies. So I grabbed the ones with the yellow knob because I knew the ones with the red volume, that was the max volume. And so I was grabbing the walkie-talkies that had the yellow knob, and I'm speaking into it. I'm like, y'all hurry up. I have to tell y'all something that's very important. So everybody is now looking at me and everybody's quiet. And I said, they are trying to allow these immigrants to come into our school. They're voting on it right now, and we cannot let this happen. And I said, every city that has allowed these immigrants to come into it, the crime rates have skyrocketed. And I could see 3 white males in the distance. They were like standing side by side, and they were all nodding their head in agreement, like, yeah, that's right. And as I started to say something else, my voice got quiet again. So I had to grab another walkie-talkie, and I turned the knob all the way up. And then I proceeded to say, they haven't done any background checks on them. They haven't done any health checks on them. I said, we don't know who these people are. By this time, as I'm steady talking, I'm constantly having to grab walkie-talkies because my voice is starting to get back to the point where you can't hear anything that I'm saying. And so I started grabbing the walkie-talkies that had the red knob, and I turned it all the way up. And for whatever reason, I started speaking about how I was afraid for my city, because this whole time, as I'm speaking, I felt like this tug in my soul. Like I just felt like this is so serious right now, and I feel like I have to make sure they understand what's going on, like how serious this situation is. And so I remember as I'm speaking, it became a song, and I'm literally saying, and this is what it sounded like. I said, I'm afraid for my city, for my city. And I said that, and I was saying other things, but it had that same melody, but I'm speaking, like letting them know that, you know, this cannot be happening to my city. And I was literally crying out. And all of a sudden, like this group of people just came out of nowhere, and they just filled the whole room. And I noticed that I didn't have any more walkie-talkies. So I'm literally trying to talk over them, and nobody can hear me. And all of a sudden, I see one of the women that were outside that was an immigrant. She had came into the room, and there was a female who was one of the ones who was responsible in voting for them to have access. She literally like ran to the girl and hugged her. And I knew in that moment it was too late. They had already like allowed them access to our school. And I remember hearing like a guy in the distance saying, you know, oh, she's pretty. And I remember I was just trying to scream off the top of my lungs, even though nobody could really hear me. I was like, what does that have to do with anything? And I heard a voice say, and I don't know if it was somebody in this particular scene that said it. I just know I heard, it was an understanding that they will be able to take care of our children. That's what I heard. They will be able to take care of our children. And I woke up from that. Now, the best way I can explain to y'all is the emotion that I felt. It was like, I felt it was up to me. Like I was the only one that could stop something from happening. And I did everything in my power to do it. And because I understood the severity of it, I was doing everything in my power to stop something from happening, but I couldn't. And so the emotion that I felt when I was waking up and as I was talking to my husband about it, it was like I literally started crying because it felt like there was such a responsibility that was placed on my shoulders, and I felt like I failed. I felt like I wasn't able to accomplish what needed to be accomplished because of the severity of the situation. And I don't know why I dreamt that, but what I will say is the man that I saw, who I was speaking with, who I told y'all that was the middleman that was fighting to get these women to have access to our schools, that face stuck in my mind. And when I freshly woke up, I was like, I know I've seen that face before. I didn't have a name, it was just a face. So grabbed my phone and I just started going. I went to YouTube and I was like, where did I see that face? And then the Holy Spirit let me know, you saw it from those videos that you watch when it comes to Congress. Like I watch a lot of videos of things that's going on within Congress, how they're discussing certain bills and certain things like that. And so I knew the channel to go to. So I went to the channel and I was just scrolling, just looking for that face. That face was in my mind. And I finally found a video, like the most recent video. And I was like, that's him. Don't you know the person that I saw in my dream? He happens to be a congressman. He is a congressman from New York. He is a Democrat. And the first video I found of his face was him actually supporting immigration.
And we need immigrants in this country. Forget the fact that the farm, that our vegetables would rot in the ground if they weren't being picked by many immigrants, many illegal immigrants. The fact is that the birth rate in this country is way below replacement level, which means our population is going to start shrinking. And the ratio of people on Social Security and Medicare is going to increase relative to the number of people supporting them.
And I was like, wow. When I saw that video, I was like, that makes sense. When I saw the title, I was like, that makes sense. So I literally dreamt that yesterday. Now, where I'm puzzled, I don't know why I was crying out for my city. And I've been praying on this, like, because the thing is, sometimes when God shows me things, he will show it as if it's happening close to home, so I can really understand the severity of what it is he's showing me. But it also could mean that he was showing it like that to me so I would understand what's at stake, not necessarily meaning that what I saw will occur in my city. The thing is, ever since we've been seeing the border being wide open and how Biden is allowing all these immigrants to flood our nation, the places that they have been migrating to, we have seen that there has been an increase in crime. And there have been so many people in these cities literally crying out for the government to put a stop to this because of all of the things that they are experiencing in their neighborhoods, in their community. I don't know. I just know that the pain in my heart that I felt, the emotion, the fact that I was literally trying to prevent this from happening, and to see that there was nothing I could do, that I had failed. Like it kind of left me a little broken, because it's like, you want so desperately to save people, you want so desperately to help and to prevent bad things from happening, because you understand the dangers that come with it. And sometimes people don't fully see those dangers. And it's like, because I was in that position, and yet I wasn't able to succeed in protecting the people, in stopping this from happening, it left me in a place where I was just really feeling that emotion when I was in the dream and as I was waking up. And my husband, when I was talking to him about it, he didn't really know what to do or say. He just comforted me and just let me know, like, you know, I hate that you had this bad dream, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, everything that happens, God allows it. We may not always know the reason behind it. We may not always understand things, but we have to trust God. You know what I'm saying? Because my thing is, I believe with everything in me that the things that God has been continually showing me, it's going to happen. It's just a waiting game right now. But I believe it's going to happen very, very soon. And while we are waiting, the enemy is going to wreak havoc, and he's going to take advantage of the time that he has. And that's really what we see playing out right now. He's trying to create as much chaos as he can. And so I don't share this dream to cause you guys to fear in any way. That's not my purpose of this, but I do feel that it was very interesting for me to see that man literally trying to give access to these immigrants when he should not have done so, because they did not have visas. And I made it a point to say, this was not the agreement. This was not the agreement. For me to, and even when I said to him, when he kept like, you know, making me feel as if I wasn't qualified to say, you know, this was our school, like this is my school too. The fact that I even said what I said, as far as like, I'm Black, I'm half white, I'm Asian, I'm Mexican, I thought that was interesting too, that I would say that, because it is true. Like that's, those are things that I discovered when I did my DNA. All of that is in me, you know, and then some. But it just seems like, for me to even say that, it seems like that was significant. I don't fully know why, but I don't know. I just thought that was interesting that I would dream that. Let me know in the comment section what y'all make of it. But again, I just thought, wow, like I said, for me to dream of this congressman, and at the time I didn't know what, you know, I didn't know who he was. I just knew I've seen that face before. And for the Holy Spirit to lead me to just to finding who he was, his name and all of that. And then the first video I come to where I'm searching this image in my mind, it just so happens that he supports immigration. So I was like, okay, Lord, I see why you showed this to me. But I did want to share one more dream with y'all. And I had this dream last week. I'll put the date somewhere here. But honestly, I really don't know what to make of this. I just know it creeped me out. Maybe y'all have something that y'all can contribute. I don't know why I dreamt this, and I'm not even going to add any of my opinions or what I think it could be, because I really don't know. I'm just going to tell y'all the dream and just let it be. All I remember is I was on a boat. It was a big boat, and there were many people on this boat. And we're riding along this body of water, and I look to the right of me and I see a smaller boat riding next to us. And for whatever reason, my eyes are focusing on this man in this boat. Everything that played out from this point It was like my eyes were being zoomed in to focus on this individual. The first thing I recall is he had took some creature. I don't know what it was. It looked, I don't even know how to describe what it looked like. I don't even know. It was some type of creature. He took from his boat and he set it on land. And I was looking at that like, okay, that's weird. Why would he put that there? So again, we're still riding in this boat along the waters. And now I see this person's boat is veering to the side where they're starting to get off on land. But I'm still in the boat. So as this man is getting off the boat and he's starting to walk on this land, I'm noticing that he has like this, it was something that he was wearing on his waist. Like a, like some type of, I don't even know. It was something that was strapped around his waist. And I saw these, they looked like snakes. They were extremely long and they were like a reddish burgundy color. It looked like it was 2 or 3 of them. And they were like doing loops around whatever it was that he was wearing on his waist. Like it was a strap around his waist, but on the side of his waist was like a place where you could put a whole bunch of stuff. Kind of like a fanny pack, but not a fanny pack. I'm trying to like give y'all like the best explanation I could think of, but it was like a pouch of some sort that was on his side, but it was big. And these snakes were like coming from it, but it was intertwining around each other around this pouch on his side. They wasn't wrapping around his waist. They was just intertwining. And I was looking at it, it was just creeping me out. I mean, just me talking about it, it's creeping me out. So my eyes is still focusing on this man and I'm like, what is he doing? And so now the snakes are kind of like unraveling and I see the head of the snake. What was very weird about what the snake looked like, where it would be like right in this region of the snake's head, they look like long fins, like it was just sticking out like that, like in a triangle, but they were very long. And kind of like towards the middle of the body were these long wings. And I'm like, why am I seeing it? Like I'm thinking in the dream, why am I seeing this? And I knew that whatever the intentions were and why this man had these snakes, he was going to release them on the land. He was going to release it on the land, just like he released the other creature on the land. And when I had that understanding, I was pulled out of the dream. Again, I have no idea why I saw that. I do not like snakes. I hate dreaming about snakes. But this didn't look like an ordinary snake. Like this looked very weird. It looked hybrid. It looked like it was genetically mixed with something else. But that's what I saw. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with y'all. I don't know. I mean, maybe y'all can come up with something on that. I have no idea. Like I said, I'm not even going to try to come up with something. I just wanted to put it out there. But yeah, that's pretty much what I dreamt. I actually had another situation that had happened a couple of weeks ago. I had a dream. And this is one of those dreams where I tell you, I have a lot of dreams that are more personal, or dreams that I dream about other people that I know. Well, I literally had a dream. I want to say it was back in March. Yeah, it was back in March of this year. And wrote the dream out in detail of what I saw. Fast forward, a situation actually happened a few weeks ago. And me and my husband was talking about it, that dream came into my mind. I was like, wait a minute. Went to my dream journal, pulled the dream up, and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. I literally read the dream out to my husband verbatim, and he looked at me and he was like, your dreams be tripping me out. Everything I wrote in my dream journal that I had on that particular day about certain individuals, it literally played out. Like literally played out a few weeks ago. And we were just sitting here like, wow. So y'all, I'm telling you, God be showing stuff. And sometimes, I know for me personally, I try not to second guess stuff, because a lot of times when I do see things, I may not fully understand what I'm seeing. But I just go ahead and write it down, because I'm like, I don't know why I just dreamt this, but I'm just going to write it down. And it just never fails. Like, God just be like showing up. I just wanted to put that out there, because even though I may not be on here as much, I'd be like blown away by the stuff that God is still revealing. Like, another thing, I will share this. I had a dream about one of my cousins not too long ago. I think it's been a couple of weeks ago. And I tried to get in contact with her, because, you know, there are times when the Lord would show me things about people, and it would be very specific regarding their health. And this particular dream that I had, it was literally showing me calling her on the phone. And she was literally crying out to me regarding certain things that she needed. And I was trying to get a hold to her. I couldn't get a hold to her for a while. And then we were able to talk briefly. And I was like, you know what? I had a dream about you. And I told her in the dream, you was crying out to me that you needed vitamin C, zinc, and it was something else. And she told me, she said, that's kind of interesting. Well, she said, that's pretty weird. She said, because I actually found out that I needed to start taking zinc. So I'm just like, I knew that what God was showing me was a health condition. And that's why I wanted to reach out to her, because I knew that what God was highlighting to me is that she needed to start taking vitamin C and zinc. And she confirmed the zinc. I don't know if I need to make sure I reach out to her and let her know, look, you really need to incorporate the vitamin C too, because God showed me that. But I don't know why I couldn't remember. It was 3 things. I don't know why I wasn't able to remember the 3rd thing. But, you know, again, I'm just sharing this stuff with you to let you know, like, God really do be showing up, and he be showing me stuff. So that's why I'm so like confident in the things that God has been saying to me, because he's never steered me wrong. So I just want y'all to just remain in faith, you know, stay in prayer always, and just trust God, you know, because there's definitely a lot of moving parts that we're seeing play out right now. But I just want to make sure y'all don't get lost in all the distractions that's taking place. Like, God has been speaking to me about Exodus for a reason. Like, the song that I'm going to be sharing with y'all very soon, like it just continues to add to the very thing that God keeps, you know, just saying to me. And so when I wrote this song, it was like the Holy Spirit literally just gave it life. Like, I can't even take credit for the words, because I felt like God wrote this song, to be honest. But I will be sharing it very soon. I'm just kind of finishing up some last touches, but I have really fell in love with this song, because every time I hear it, I feel like it is the anthem to where we are right now. Like, I feel it is an anthem. And every time I listen to it, it just builds my faith that much more. It builds my confidence that much more. And yeah, so I look forward to being able to share that with y'all very soon. But I feel like I've been talking for a long time. I'm going to end it here. I love y'all. As always, you know, if I receive anything else, I will definitely let you guys know. I love you all. Y'all continue to, like I said, just stay in prayer, stay in faith, and most importantly, stay close to the Lord. Lord willing, I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, you guys, take care. Bye.